as brothers and sisters because you're speaking the same language as I'm speaking. And what I hope to sort of explore with you over the next few minutes is the realities of what we actually experience outside in the world are so much relevant to what you do. And what you do is so relevant to what's happening in the outside world. So we're going to explore that in a number of ways. And we're going to explore that from the concept of tensegrity. From what I've understood in the last day is that this is not an unfamiliar concept for you. In fact, I'm kind of intrigued. Why did I come up with this sort of title for this conference in the first place? You know, I don't have to tell you anything about, you know what it's like when everything just clicks into place. You know what it's like? Your profession really knows that, don't you? Well, for me, this really clicks into place. So tensegrity, the dynamic of evolution, the evolution of our species, the evolution of who we are as individuals as we move through the dynamics of life. Mark this morning really set it up for me. Thank you, Mark. Mark is a fan of Buckminster Fuller. I'm obviously a fan of Buckminster Fuller. So here's one of Bucky Fuller's observations. He said that unity is plural with a minimum of two. So what does that really mean? Well, if you look around the world, if you look around every situation that you find, you will find there is always two-ness for everything. And so in that context, we're going to explore what that is. So first of all, in tension, you need two-ness. You need two things to be in tension with one another. So let's start with two undeniable truths. The first undeniable truth is that when I look out at you beautiful people out there, I can observe you and I can see that you are all individuals. You are an individual in your own right. I know that because I can objectively observe you and see that. But what is also an undeniable truth that is not so obvious to me is that inside of you, right here, right now, you are having a subjective experience. Interior to you, you have an inner life that you and you alone are aware of. It is you, it is your uniqueness, it is part of your internal landscape. So the two-ness that we want to look at is this dynamic between the internal and the external. The subjective world, the interior world, and the objective world out there. So our question today is, what can the physical world, the outside world, tell us about the metaphysical world or the inside world? What goes on inside us? In our metaphysical world is the subjective reality, and our physical world of our objective reality. So let's define a couple of things before we continue. What is tension? A couple of definitions. Objective tension is a physical strain or force created by pulling something tight. We all can recognize what that is when we do it in the physical world. In the subjective world, it's the felt sense of a specific gap between a current reality and a preferred potential. We know what that feels like, don't we? And we're going to explore that a little bit for ourselves shortly. Here's another quote by Bucky Fuller. He says, all structures properly understood from the solar system to the atom are tensegrity structures. Not some, all. All structures have a dynamic of tensegrity associated with them. And so we cannot argue with the immutable laws of the universe. If we are standing on those laws, our foundation is solid. We cannot be argued with. We cannot be put in a defensive position. The stronger the foundation on which we lay ourselves, the stronger our message becomes. So let us refer to what is truth and undeniable truth in everything that we do. So undeniable that it's indisputable. So let's have a look at tensions. What are they and what is it? Well, we've already established we've got two-ness. Let's just call them, for the sake of the exercises that we're going to go through shortly, that there's two events. Two events. It could be an inside event and an outside event. These two events are connected by relationship. Bucky said it's not about the events. It's about the relationship between events. Let me just ask you a question. If you consider yourself an event and your partner as another event, and you are in relationship, do you sometimes experience some tension in that relationship? Anyone not? If you're not in harmony with the universe. Tension is a dynamic, it's a reality, it is so much a fabric of how we live. So, experience number one. Under your seat, you'll find a rubber band. So quickly, under your seat and pick up your rubber band. So I want to give a sort of sense of connecting with this. So what I'd like you to do is just get a sense of this rubber band that you've got. Experience a kind of tension. Yeah? You got it? I'd like you to sort of feel into what's actually going on there when you're sort of playing with that. You know, what do you feel? What do you feel? Anyone? Power? You feel power because you've actually got the control of the rubber band? Yeah? Anything else? Recoil. Yeah, recoil. Yeah. So what I'd like you to do is to take that rubber band and I'd like you to point it in the air. Okay. I'd like you to pull it back as far as you're comfortable of pulling it back. And after 3, I'd like you to all let them go. So 1, 2, 3, go. Wasn't that fun? So what could we say about that? What could we say about that particular exercise? It was fun. We can also say that the further back we pull it, the further out and up it goes. Yeah? I pulled it back this, but whoa, that's got a far greater trajectory than what I had. So when we think about tension, and I've sort of experienced some of the stories,